Building transportation systems throughout Africa could save millions of lives, bridging the gap between health providers and people in need. But some of the goods of global health are less tangible than medicines or vaccines. One of the great challenges is to deliver information and to persuade people to change their behavior. Consider the case of HIV. 2 decades ago, scientists determined how the virus is transmitted and how to avoid infection. Yet HIV has engulfed one country after another. The nation of Thailand once seemed doomed. Its sex industry had exploded during the Vietnam War, when thousands of American servicemen were stationed here. Later, it continued to attract foreign sex tourists, as well as scores of Thai customers. Ideal conditions for spreading HIV throughout the country. But Thailand has a special deterrent against the virus.
Come, follow me.
His name is Michai Viravaidya. He's been waging war against HIV for 2 decades. He wields an unconventional weapon, the condom.
She says she uses the condom every time.
Sometimes the right person comes along at the critical time, and Michai Viravaidya for Thailand really was that right person. He is, you could call him a force of nature.
Have some more. International size. She's 19, and I said that if you use condom, you live to be 70.
I agree with what you're doing.
Good. You're never too old.
I am.
Michai has this amazing sense of humor. He gets everybody laughing.
That goes with the Big Mac.
If anyone was born to battle HIV, it was Michai. His mother was Scottish, his father Thai. They met in medical school in Edinburgh and raised their family in Thailand. At the age of 13, Michai was sent to school in Australia, where he excelled at sports. He returned to Thailand with a degree in commerce and took a job with the government's planning authority. He traveled throughout his homeland. It was a revelation.
I've never seen so many children in my life in any single gathering. Of course, in Australia, you'll see more kangaroos than people, but here I'd never seen such large gatherings of children in large groups. As it turned out, it was about 7 kids per family.
Michai was convinced that Thailand would never prosper unless it curbed its population growth. So he quit his job and founded a nonprofit organization. He took family planning beyond the government's health clinics. He recruited average citizens to distribute contraceptives to friends and neighbors. Everyone was encouraged to spread the word about family planning. Then, Michai came up with his unmistakable trademark.
I was trying to demonstrate the pills and IUDs and sterilization, and there wasn't even one smile in the audience. So when I pulled out the condom, and there was some giggles, and I opened up the condom, and there was laughter, I said, I'm onto something.
And we have many, many uses of the condom. You can, of course, put coins and change into here, or Coca-Cola if you like. And, of course, you can use it as a balloon for young children.
When family planning was first talked about in Thailand in the late 60s and early 1970s, people said, no, you can't deal with that here because it's a very conservative society. People are embarrassed. They don't talk about it. And Michai showed that you can talk about anything if you do it with a sense of humor and with gusto.
Michai was unstoppable. He distributed family planning T-shirts and key rings. He obtained the blessings of the Buddhist clergy. He staged condom-blowing contests and vasectomy festivals.
It's fun, it's lighthearted, and it's safe. And today we hope to do 1,000 just in one day and create a world record.
Michai became known as the Condom King. and condoms became known as Michais. Most importantly, he produced results. Within a decade, the country's birth rate dropped by more than half in one of the most successful family planning programs on record. By the mid-1980s, Thailand's economy was booming. Michai was recognized as a champion of social causes. He might have rested on his laurels. Then, in 1984, the first case of AIDS in Thailand was reported.
When AIDS was known to me, I knew very well that this could be a match in dry grass, and Thailand would burn if we didn't do anything about it, because there was commercial sex, and this could spread very, very rapidly.
Michai voiced his alarm to members of government, to no avail. Thailand's tourist industry was flourishing, and no one wanted to rock that boat.
Thailand was in denial in the early days from 1980 to 1990. Governments are always followers rather than leaders, and until they see a catastrophe, they don't think it's going to happen.
But in 1991, a new prime minister took office and took HIV seriously. He made Michai his AIDS czar. The battle was on. The sex trade was illegal, but to shut it down would have forced it underground. So Michai dispatched free condoms to the trade and ordered routine testing of workers for sexually transmitted diseases.
And if a girl of a particular establishment became infected, then there was a warning to the establishment owner. Second time was a written warning. Third time was closure for 1 week, and then 1 month.
Soon, the rate of condom use in brothels rose from 10 to 90%. Then, Michai hit the airwaves.
โรคอันตรายที่มีอัตราการแพร่กระจายสูงจนน่าตกใจถ้าเราไม่ช่วยกันหยุดมันวันนี้อีก10 ปีข้างหน้าก็ไม่แน่ว่าจะมีคนไทยเหลืออยู่อีกกี่คน
We used 488 radio stations and 6 TV stations owned by government, and we said it's compulsory from now on. Every hour broadcast half a minute of AIDS education.
อันนี้เป็นพวงกุญแจแล้วก็
หลังจากที่รับเชื้อเข้ามาแล้วตั้งแต่
It was total saturation. Banks, insurance companies, movie stars, they all came out, helped to support. Gas stations gave out condoms, and policemen gave out condoms, and people in uniform, out of uniform, gave out AIDS information. So everybody joined in. It was a massive effort, and people realized that this is real.
A decade after Michai became Thailand's AIDS czar, the nation's rate of new infections had decreased by almost 90%.
It was brilliant, and it worked. And they took an epidemic that threatened to be massive and brought it down to totally controlled levels.
But HIV has not been eradicated from Thailand. More than 500,000 people remain infected. Now Michai has turned his attention to them.
วันนี้อยากจะให้พบเพื่อนของผมมีหลายคนแล้วก็จะมาคุยให้เราฟังเล็กๆน้อยๆเรื่องผู้ติดเชื้อคุณนิสรากับสหายเพื่อนฝูงเชิญมา
Stigma is very, very strong in every developing country at the start, and it really depends on how much public education is done.
เห็นไหมว่าไม่มีทางติดได้ขนาดกรอกกางเกงยังไม่ติดเลยจิบมาอย่ากินให้หมดนะนิดเดียวแล้วจิบที่เดียว
We believe we should introduce HIV-positive people to communities to see that they're just like us.
แล้วผมก็ทานจากจุดเดียวกันติดไหมไม่มีทางติดจำไว้
Today, Nisara Panya will dispel some myths about HIV for 500 high school students.
My name is Nisara. I've been infected since 1999. But you can't tell I'm positive just by looking at me.
She hails from the Northeast, the poorest region in Thailand. Her husband, like so many others, left home to find work. But he returned from a stint in Malaysia, weakened and ill. Within months, he died of AIDS. Nisra went for testing with her 2 children and discovered that she alone was infected.
When I first found out, I wanted to kill myself. I was afraid my village wouldn't accept me. I thought about it long and hard, but when I looked at my 2 children, I knew I had to fight for my life.
Because of the stigma attached to HIV, many infected Thais forego medical attention rather than reveal their status. Not Nisra. She went for treatment and began a regimen of antiretroviral drugs provided free of charge by the Thai government. Then she learned that Michai's nonprofit organization had started a loan program for people like her.
I saw people who were HIV positive had already lost their jobs, had used up all their savings, and there was a total sense of hopelessness. Now, surely we must be able to do something. And that was when I thought, maybe we should have a positive partnership whereby a positive person and a negative person become partners and do business together.
For Nisra and her sister, a small loan jump-started a photo framing venture.
At first, I was afraid I wouldn't be able to repay the loan. But business has been good. It's like getting a second chance at life.
Nisra began to speak out about the plight of people with HIV. Now she helps Michai turn fear into acceptance.
She was waiting there to die, her husband had died. She was giving up, but then she didn't give up. She's changed herself, and she's helping to influence other people. She is magnificent.
The day I found out I was infected, I told my children. They said, "It's okay, Mom. No matter what, we still love you." I want everyone who's infected, wherever you are, to be strong and fight this disease, just like me.
Nisra's resolve may be what Thailand needs most. In recent years, government funding for HIV education has dwindled. Infections are rising among young people, many of whom never heard of a man called Michai. And so, he keeps up the good fight.
Thailand has spent a lot of effort and a lot of money to bring down the spread of HIV. This is not just a health problem, it's a societal problem. Everyone needs to be involved, the business sector, religious sector, education sector, government. It's total war, the only way to do it. We can make the next generation almost AIDS-free.
Thailand provides a powerful prescription for the delivery of public health. Strong leadership, combined with long-term political commitment, has worked wonders here.